Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to back to some more Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, so we're gonna be continuing where we left off here the other day. So let me know please in the comments or anything, you guys, if there's anything wrong with my audio, because I had to tweak around with it here because I have a new PC I just built for streaming. So please let me know if there's anything wrong, anything's lagging like that, or yeah. I do know I need to put some more RAM in there. I should have done that. I think I have some laying around somewhere. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into the hard. Entering the madness. Madness. Okay, this is where we left off in the beginning of chapter 6. Pierce woke up in an asylum. In an asylum installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute, he met Dr. Cullen, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him escape. Wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders before dying in full view of the detective. He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the cursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companies and companions in misfortune decide to use Hawkins' mansion as a hideout. So, yeah. It's Cthulhu! Cthulhu!
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Do what you want.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
That is really loud. I need to... It's like killing my ears, guys, so...
The day's only starting. It's fine.
So I can always have a drink, but I want to keep my sanity, so I'm not going to drink. Just something I think is right for me to do. I'm stuck on...
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I'm not a occult professional, damn it.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes,
Damn.
and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I found a Darkwater PD badge. Lost a colleague recently?
What the?
Bradley.
Ethan?
I'm all right. I just had a... It's gone.
You're sure?
If it's important, it'll come back. But I can't explain why Dr. Fuller would have that badge.
The man's a danger, believe me.
What can we do,
Don't-
Pierce?
I think you aren't who you say you are. You must be some demon or something.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
the rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital. And called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
You're hiding something, dude.
I heard you talking.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller. And a nurse. Blood. Everywhere. Legs. Pain. I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
They
What
were
happened
full of
afterwards?
drugs.
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You
Yeah,
should
he
believe
would.
it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. You know him.
Of
Oh,
course,
here we go.
he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins. And that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Called him the Shambler.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Hide the truth or tell it. Oh, god damn it. You know, if I tell her the truth, she might help me, but if I don't, she might. If I do tell her the truth, though, she might tell me to get out. Oh my god, what did I choose here? What do I choose? Ah! Oh. Honestly, I would tell the truth, but
He's right.
let's go with the
We
truth.
can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive
That's
her
what we're
mad.
after.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Alright, let's go ahead and seize art dealer. Oh my god, this music is fine.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Alright. What's in my inventory? 3. Okay. Oh, let's go talk to the dead widow. Or not the dead widow, the widow of the dead man. Yeah, fuck, whatever, you know what I mean. Alright. They decide to team up and solve Sarah Hawkins' case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter, died right in front of Piers. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died. I really need to read into H.P. Lovecraft's monsters and stuff, because shambler is apparently like some being that can take many forms, or it's like it's like a hunter or something, invisible hunter.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private detective. Let's talk about your husband. His ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
Wow, very front about that.
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me.
Well, look who's here.
And here's this bitch cat.
You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Hold on a second. I need to turn down the volume on my end here, because this is loud. It's balls right now for me.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Yeah, see, she wants to know the truth.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Old to test. I'm sure you agreed, but I had nothing to do with it. The true culprit was Fuller. doesn't mean anything.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident? This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You, too, would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Alright.
Did she really care for him after all?
No, she just said, you seek a bullet in which you demand the body you deceased husband. I'm sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return this body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. Asshole.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Is she their daughter? Oh no, that's Sarah Hawkins. Never mind. I'm not sure why this is happening, but okay.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Maybe closer than friends. Maybe it was him that
Sanders'
was
accession register.
butterfly.
He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
What the hell?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
More medicine.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in the phonograph.
You're not requiring that Francis Sanders to his wife.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should answer, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. Inside my head, I see him. Behind my eyelids. Each time I shut my eyes.
What the hell?
I can't take anymore. can't hold him back. Forgive me.
Cursed family. Those accursed paintings, that accursed Sarah.
Okay. Anything else to look at long in there? Oh. Piano. Puzzle? There has to be a puzzle to that. Puzzle for this. Fuck this out then. Ah.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Knew there was something about that. It was the audio from the thing. The phonograph. Okay.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
I found this drawing of a dagger. Did you come across anything like it in your reading?
Perhaps. I saw several daggers in the ledgers. I could always check. What I didn't find, however, was the slightest reason why I should help you, Detective.
I don't need your services. I can manage all on my own.
Do it then.
Oh, she's such a bitch.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
First reports to me, his wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the colony, her husband included, began to speak of their visions as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
I beg you to give up all hope of it all. This is mainly if our friendship has any meaning for you. Please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my good friend, forget the chamber.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
The whale and the cod.
I could use one of those.
Check the journal real quick. Close. Alright, we are bolt. Dimensional chandler. Dimensional chandler comes from a dark and inhospitable dimension where the rarity of food sources keeps it in a state of permanent starvation. This is why it is in a constant state of readiness to travel to other dimensions in order to feed on its inhabitants. Make sure you never weaken the veils of your dimension, otherwise you risk attracting this very dangerous creature. Should this happen, you just have to lay eyes upon it for its being to anchor itself in the dimension and allow it to rip you open with its pulse. Okay, so don't look at it then. The malice bestiarium. Men will gather the knowledge through the lines dictated to me by the great old ones, but also in the other lines. The visions that assail me whisper me names and silhouettes of mystical creatures. Soon, the malice monstronium is repository of all and cosmic and dimensional knowledge will be seen as the authoritative work. This book, unholy among the most cursed books, will one day be the final rampart between man and the predators that are waiting to devour him, hidden behind the veils of parallel dimensions. Okay? The fuck is going on? This place. Okay, let's go in there. Inside the key. Don't pick up damn lock for them killing me. Why is there a hiding spot? Oh, don't tell me it's Chamber's going to come. These all ritual spears?
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Let's look at that last and then look around for anything else. Man, he is freaking collector. that blade look like? Button again. Yeah, I didn't say anything.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Some small booth. It's like a circle. Spins around. Is this? No, it's a triple. Only one of these? No. 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 No.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
I don't want to look upon that thing yet, so I know exactly what this weapon is. I have a feeling I'm going to be needing it to kill the Shambler. I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's this one. No, wait. Nope, it's only two.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
It's one over here. Not that one. Oh. It's this one. Alright, so
Why
this
was he
one
so
will open
interested
the-
in old weapons?
Okay. Take this. More. Far from possessing the talents of Sarah Hawkins, Sanders drew dagger with a torture form down smallest detail. The guard carries a strange response with Sarah. Let me go back and look at that dagger real quick, see if that tells me anything now.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Okay, so hint, hint. I'm going to need that. Oh my god. I'm not looking forward to this. Here comes the Shambler. Oh my god. Don't look at it.
What the... hell was that?
Oh my god! Okay.
What the hell was that?
Hide, 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 hide. No.
I can't even touch it.
Fuck off. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. How do I beat this thing?
What the hell was that?
Hi, motherfucker. How do you know I'm in here? God damn it. This is gonna take forever, I already know it.
What the hell was that? Damn. This dagger looks different.
I need to, because my heart's actually pounding from this. I'll also turn up the brightness because texture. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Don't do it.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go
Mary,
see your
what the hell
antique
do you
seller.
mean?
I've still got things to settle with Irene.
I don't know what would happen if they would convince her. And if you're wondering why the cutscenes kind of look all grainy and stuff, that's actually in the game itself. That's nothing to do with me. I have the game set on Epic right now, so. The Shammer turned out to be much more than artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins as a huge creature from life looking to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sims by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library. It's a bookstore, library, antique dealer. What is it? Come on, man. Oh no. Phone.
Where's the bookseller?
Good question. Where is the bookseller?
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
That's true. The psychologist describes the technique of analytical interpretation of dreams. Sorry. An analyst must follow several rules, especially that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of the 19th century, which treats dreams as a way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that the stereotypes are going on net news. Cold chalice, chestbed, dark water history. Trade reaches peak and the rest of the world will gradually disappear from the water surrounding dark water. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then the region was a favored refuge for the I can't pronounce that word. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Celia returns with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts to see. Maybe that creature was a child of Cthulhu and they killed it and ate it. That's why they're all going fucking nuts. That's in the wrong two. Okay. Must look everywhere for everything.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
Possible creatures I had never heard of. Entities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as reference work on the bestiary map without giving details on mythology which it refers. The creatures are covered with phantasmagorical and okay. So I'm going crazy right now. This exceptional dagger of Ottoman origin probably dates from the 16th century. It bears the Elder sign on its hilt. It apparently belongs to Pergli Ibrahim Pasha, Grand Vizier at the court of Suleiman the Magnificent. Legend tells that Barley used the symbol on a dagger to protect the court from a creature that haunted the mirrors of the palace. What is certain is that Suleiman had his vizier executed. Did you fear him after this demonstration of power? Suleiman on Joma. I'm reading a book with that character in it right now too. Well, actually, his dad is in this present.
What happened here? A strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
I just touched it. Naked woman. See that back and back, so I can't get it till I do this. Alright, so
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
man, probably.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
What is that shit?
what killed all these animals? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Elder sign? Something to protect from there?
What the? Charles Hawkins? What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
What is that?
Sarah
that the
Hawkins
fucking-
helped hide something in this safe.
Is that the Chronomicon? To summon Cthulhu?
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Alright. Fate seems to be hitting her. Alright, if somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality. In order that they be recovered, and burned, the funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within the safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as celebrated authors say, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intelligence and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. Goddamn, I can't fucking say shit. The content of the safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will be accordingly in any event, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor suffer from your actions. Okay. So, it has something to do with the Greek mythology.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
That's not good.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
The key of rain. The key that bears the elder sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star of the branch whose purpose is to push back the force of the great old ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. And press cuttings that mention this misdemeanor. The date of the robbery coincides with the last Hawkins trips off to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. try to find it. Okay, so I gotta find an artifact.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
By
How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. Arkham editions. Never heard of them. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
well, obviously that's supposed to be the key to the combination.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Perfect reason with her husband, but in vain. He was once said he must listen to the voices in himself because it holds the truth.
Things are not looking good. A kind of chalice.
And these red rocks, like precious stones, lie stripped, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seems particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Anything in the darkness and this. Oh. There's a bug that's flying around on my feet and it's pissing me off.
What did Drake say about this collection?
It's gonna be 9.
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
So 9, 6. No, 7. 4, 9, 7.
What did Drake say about this collection?
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna go back and listen to these.
And these red rocks, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
The Grail.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Grail. So,
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seems particularly relevant to my...
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was... What did Drake say about this Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
nope. Oh, so it's...
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
See, guessed it. That worked. To dimension. Oh no, why am I back here? Use trace a trail of a burglary. Discovered that Charles Hawkins was found to attack use of the book so safe to find the ladder and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. Book covered in human skin lied inside. And was suitably attracted from the ultimate, his mind was projected into another body. Oh, whose body am I going into? I'm not sure why my desktop audio is going off. I got nothing going on in the background. Unless it's feedback. Is that feedback? Oh, God, bugs, go away. Pissing me off. Hold on a second. I want to see what this is on my other headphones. Yeah, that's just feedback.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He...
Oh. I wonder what's causing this feedback. Real moment after this is really annoying. How much of that is really not supposed to use? Is that what was causing?
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh,
Sorry
of
about that,
course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Okay, now my ears are killing me. Alright.
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down. His skin losing its color. His body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did
Already
well.
dead.
Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Very well. I'll examine him.
Rose. Chapter 7 is really short one, isn't it? Strange man appended to a large dog. Mistake of taking this jewel for an inanimate object, the soul of the powerful sorcerer, devourer of bodies of the ling called a sect from Central Asia, lies in this jade hand. He is very curious form, a massive hunting dog, represents the transformation of the sorcerer into a man-eating ghoul. Whoever unearths the amulet and wears it around his neck is at risk of the sorcerer's wrath. The latter will return in the shape of a formidable hunter, track and dismember all defilers.
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
I have no idea what the fuck I just said. I am not a doctor. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get comfortable here.
His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky.
Is he sweating?
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects. "30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell."
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You
Dr.
know,
Fuller.
I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
Did you turn into a fish?
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean?
He's a fish man.
Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
I've seen suction cups on his fingers. His falling body temperature. His dehydration. Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
You need to go down.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
Mom by mute. Okay, so I'm playing as something else.
This place draws you in and never lets you go. The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly. Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Huh. The hell is this? Watch people?
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan?
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, and Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do nothing about it for the moment. We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor.
Donovan... We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks. The doses prescribed by Fuller are far too high. I don't have any business in the boiler room.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Wow, what a bitch answer.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation. This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Ah, so this is during this
Dr.
time.
Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I'll see to it right away.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
Oh. What state is he in now?
You should go see for yourself, Doctor.
Where's dormitory
Dr.
B?
Colden.
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
You're not here for treatment, right?
Am I so obvious?
Yep.
Only to me. I know you worry about me.
I trust you. I'm happy to see you.
Me too, Ethan. Is that all?
Well, there might be something else. I'm not sure.
Tell me.
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're
Guys,
terrible.
the voice is so fucking
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
I'm guessing these two were a couple.
I don't get
before?
why they have us waiting so long. Almost no
Where did my
patience.
fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Dormitory B.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
The fuck?
Doctor, please. My chest.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Dr. Colden?
Alright.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back.
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out.
Bugs.
Mrs. Sanders?
The fuck is wrong with her?
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. His binds left bloody wounds. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
Okay. Sorry to be a bitch about that, but...
Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
Dr. Colden?
Is that it in B block?
Hay fever. What's he doing here?
Alright, so...
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
Dr. Colden?
Stacked over and cut off water.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
How does it do this to me out here?
The door to the boiler room is locked. I have to get the key if I wish to get rid of Donovan.
Where's the key at?
The boiler room key is not in its place. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Doctor, those people need you at the dormitory.
Would you know where the key to the boiler room is?
Betty didn't put it back in its place. Well, she took it to lock the door.
I'll ask her. Thank you.
But if I may say so, Doctor, I think that the problems of our patients are more urgent than the plumbing.
I'll tend to it. Don't worry.
Did I not take care of everyone in here?
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory. Please, The fewer interruptions there are, the faster I'll be finished.
Alright. Turn off the water.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
There we are. Alright.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here. The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders. Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle. I've unlocked something. Patient files. I was right.
Conclusions. Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs.
Why is Ethan on medication? This finger belonged to a woman. Why keep it here? The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Nope.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later. I am prepared.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
Family, that's what the
That
connection
I
is.
had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Why do you have a shoe, dude?
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection. I must go back to the basement. I should go another way. Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference. Thank you again, Doctor.
Dr. Colden?
Is that everyone I had to talk to?
Do you want something?
Bitch.
Thank you for your help, Doctor.
Thank you. I'll be going.
Yep, so that's the last person I had to take care of. Alright, now to the basement. Let's go to the basement. Oh, so I could open and use this. She refused to. Close the door though behind me. That was a little fast going down those stairs. Alright. What is with all the blood? Oh shit, wrong door.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
Wrong door?
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around.
Oh, it's the librarian.
Slowly.
Right.
Talk, filthy thief! Oh, I swear I'll shoot!
I'm not a thief.
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead!
No.
Nope.
He was here for a very specific item.
Oh, no.
The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Answer the question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
Oh, you're the dude from the bar.
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Necronomicon.
Dr.
That's
Colton.
what it is.
She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait! No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
All right. All right. I might need you after all.
Perfect.
Wait.
Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion. Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Can I take your gun, bud? No? Okay. Where is Molly? I need to make a phone call here. Put on intermission mode. Alright, guys, I'm going to end it here because it's getting late and tired. I just want to relax the rest of the night. But thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Sorry about all the hiccups I have with the audio, but hopefully I got that fixed from now on. No more screwing with it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. So, peace.